Hey everyone, how are you going? Welcome to my 7 days of 7 ways to strengthen your immunity. Now, I was going to go through this in a group, but I did have a lot of feedback from people that they didn't want another group to be added into right now, and I totally understand that. We've got kids at home, we're not really focused. Having this sort of stuff on just someone's feed is probably a lot better for people, especially to go back to the replay too. So I really wanted to first reiterate to everyone about our immunity and how we need to focus on strengthening it all the time. Not just focusing on strengthening it when there's a crisis or there's an issue, or we know there's a lot of people around us that have flus or colds or things that are going on. This is something that I feel we should be always working on and working towards, is strengthening our immunity and taking responsibility for our own health. It's all part of that, right? So we can't just say, or we shouldn't just say, oh, quick, I need to strengthen my immunity now so I don't get the winter season flus, which is coming up for us in Australia, right? So, that's one aspect of how this all is that people not only are looking at immunity right now because of the crisis that's going on with the COVID-19, but also we've got winter coming, so then it's giving us that heightened sense of a bit of anxiousness around, oh, we still don't want to get sick because who knows where that could lead later on down in winter. So I just want to go through number one with you. So 7 days of 7 ways. Here's number one, and it's all about your bedtime routine and sunshine. Now this might seem crazy to some people, others it might make sense. I'd love you to drop in the comments if you're someone who is aware of how our immunity works around bedtime routines, getting to bed at a decent hour, switching off our devices, so our phones, our iPads, TVs. I know it can be hard, especially if you're someone that works in the evening, or you get back to people with, if you've got a home business or something maybe, and you're getting back to people in the evening with, when you need to contact those people. But we do need to have, about an hour and half an hour minimum of no screen time before we go to bed. Otherwise, it actually interrupts our melatonin, which is our sleep hormone. So when you're interrupting your sleep hormone, what does that mean? You're going to get less sleep. That puts pressure on the nervous system, pressure on the immune system, and then pressure on the adrenals. And this then causes us not to have as much of an effect on our body to have strong immunity, have a strong nervous system, have our adrenals working properly, have cortisol relaxed where it should be. All of these sorts of things can really play a part. And when you're thinking about melatonin, it's our healthy, healing, sleeping hormone. So if you don't have time to sleep properly, or if you're not sleeping deep enough, the body's not able to heal enough, and it's not in the healing state like it should be, because everything's still heightened, and the immune system can't have that time to do what it needs to do to re-strengthen the immunity every single night. But also, let's look at the morning. So get up with the sun. Who gets up with the sun? Who gets up as the sun's rising? What that actually does is that stops that melatonin production. And we need to stop that so we can start raising our happy hormones, which is our serotonin and our dopamine. So, neurotransmitters from the gut to the brain are our happy hormones that talk to each other, and we can snap those on just like that if we get up with the sun, or we walk outside as soon as the sun's rising, and it literally helps that to happen. And what that also does is it helps your immunity to start kicking back in again like it needs to after it's had that resting period and that healing period that it needs. So looking at that, our body has the ability to make energy through the day from that process of getting up with the sun, and then the sun like vitalizing us or giving us that energy and giving us that spark that we need. If we get that from the sun, that very early morning sun, it actually helps us to get natural energy throughout the day. How cool is that? And this is all part of immunity. If our immune's lacking or shot, usually we're lacking in energy a lot of the times as well. So not only that, if we're giving our body good food, good quality water, and we're thinking about how much water we're drinking in the day, we're thinking about the types of food, which I'll go into another day, and all of that sort of stuff, that also comes into play with vitamin D. So when you're out there in the sun, you only need about 20 minutes a day, but if you get that early morning sun, your vitamin D can kick in as well. And when that kicks in, you then have this double whammy process of getting extra energy through the vitamin D, through the process of waking up your dopamine and your serotonin. I'll just read something here. Sunlight is our lifeblood for vitamin D. And it's the energy we need for important immunity. So vitamin D is very much connected to our immunity. So we need that. We need that to switch on when it needs to and start working in the body as it should to strengthen immunity. And yeah, like I said, 10 to 20 minutes in the sun daily, in that early morning sun if possible, is enough that we need for a whole day to get the right vitamin D in our body so that we can have this process started and so that our immunity can kick in the way that it should and to be at a good strength where it should be, you know, not lowered immunity in some cases if we're getting out of bed sluggish, if we're someone who drags herself out, if we're not going outside much, or, you know, if we haven't got out of that process of melatonin with the sleep hormone, then it still comes back to our immunity. The vitamin D, making sure that you're switching off melatonin in the morning and switching on serotonin and dopamine, those different processes in the body is really important for our immunity. So I hope that was of value to you today, guys. I do appreciate if you'd like to share this around with people. There will be 7 different topics over 7 days. And I will go through those as well in the comments. I'll put some step-by-steps of what I've just said in the comments as well, because I know some people would prefer to read this. But I thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next video. Okay, bye.